Hi everybody, welcome back to school. You are now in the virtual art room with Miss Hope, and I am so happy to be back here with you guys. Today's video is going to be posted onto all of the school classroom sites for you guys to watch at your own pace and on your own time, okay? And there's also written instructions in each of your classroom grade sites, so you're going to need to use both of those things. And if you're having a hard time understanding, please ask an adult to help you that's home with you, or you can email me at hsperling@atalamontessori.org. I will be here for all of your questions, or I think you can also do you can ask me a question in the chat in your classroom site. So don't hesitate if you've got questions or concerns, or you're confused, or whatever it may be. Don't hesitate to ask me. I am so happy to be teaching art again to you guys this year, even if it is like this. I do prefer, obviously, to be with you and to be sitting next to you and talking to you in the classroom, but I am just so happy that you are going to be in the virtual art room with me, no matter how we're doing it. So I hope that these videos are helpful for you, and let's just get right to what we're going to be doing today. So our first assignment is going to be to make a collage. Now, if those of you who have taken art with me before, collage is a big thing that I use a lot in art because I think it's a lot of fun. It gives you guys an opportunity to use other skills besides drawing. You need to think, you need to go looking and finding things, you need to really use more of your critical thinking to find things that represent ideas or thoughts or words. Instead of just drawing something, you need to go find them in other places and then arrange them into a collage and put it all in one place. It's like putting a puzzle together. So what we're going to be doing today is going to be a collage called All About Me, not me, you. So you are going to be making a collage that, if I didn't know anything about you, if I were looking at your collage, I would be able to understand, like, oh, okay, so Miss Hope likes to cook and she loves art and she loves the color blue and purple because blue and purple is everywhere on her collage. Those are the things that you're going to be thinking about, how you're going to find those things and where you're going to find them, and then arrange them onto your collage. And I'm going to walk you through it, so don't worry, okay? The first thing is, let me introduce you to some of the supplies that you're going to use. You're going to need, here, let me get this ready here. You're going to need a piece of paper or cardstock, okay? I recommend construction paper or cardstock, which is thicker, okay? It's not like copy paper. Copy paper is really thin. You can use it if that's what you have. That's fine. You can also use cardboard if that's what you have. That's okay too. You can glue on to both of those things. But construction paper allows you to choose colors, and so does cardstock, and it gives you a thicker base to glue everything to. Once you you decide which paper you're going to use, that's going to be your bottom piece, your base. Okay, we call that a base or a foundation. That means that everything that you're going to glue is going right onto that one sheet of paper, okay? And I'm going to walk you through it in a minute. You're going to go to the overhead camera so you can see everything that I'm going to do on the table to show you how to make this happen, okay? So don't worry about anything. So you pick your color. I'm picking blue. Blue's my favorite color. So that's going to be my base for my collage. You're also going to need glue. You can use liquid glue or glue stick or both. You may want to have both on hand if you've got it already, so that you can choose what you prefer. If you're going to be gluing things like little pebbles or leaves or pieces of something that are thick like felt or fabric, let's say, or beads or things like that, you want to use liquid glue. If you're just using cut out pieces of paper, a glue stick is just fine. That will do. Okay? You just need to make sure that you apply it everywhere and stick it down firmly so it doesn't pop off later when it dries. Okay. Also going to need a pair of scissors. Whatever scissors are appropriate for you to use in your home, make sure you've got permission to use scissors and get the right kind of scissors for you and your hands, okay? And remember, you put your thumb in the top, your two fingers in the bottom, and you use your fingers like this. You're working those tendons and those muscles in your fingers, and that's how you cut, okay? Remember to keep the hand that's holding the paper furthest away from your blade, okay? We went over that in preschool last year, so you guys that are going into first grade, this is a refresher for you. Everybody else, you should know how to use scissors. You're also going to need scrap pieces of paper, and I'll explain that in a minute, and maybe one or two magazines. This is a cooking magazine. Well, this is called Real Simple. It's cooking, housekeeping, products that are coming out. There's some technology stuff in here. It's like a little bit of everything. but you can use any magazines that mom or dad or grandma or aunt or uncle have laying around, or things that they were going to throw away. You could even use old books if you're allowed to cut them up, if they're kind of they were going to be given away or thrown away anyway. Ask permission. Always ask permission first before you cut anything or rip anything out. You can also use things like tissue paper. You can use things like ribbon. I'm going to show you what's here in my little bag. I have been collecting this little bag of stuff for a long time, and I have lots of little bags in my house. These are things like things that I've drawn before and cut out, or these are die cuts. These are already, this was actually an invitation for something, but I flipped it over and it's just brown on this side. So this is the leaf. I've got just scraps of things that this was actually when Jack was little. When he was 2 years old, I traced his hand and I designed it. So I cut that out and I kept it to use in a collage someday. So I've got that. I've got just lots of little things. Like this is a heart that I cut out of paper and put glitter glue around. You know, so it's things like that. Little scraps. They could be things from a place that you visited before, like a napkin or a postcard. You can use things like that. You could even use real pictures if you're allowed to glue them onto your collage. Okay. I've also done a lot of, I love to use my spirograph at home. That's where you get to make really cool designs. So I'll show you a couple of those. So after I make them, I cut them out, I color them and I cut them out, and I save them for something that I'm going to use it for. In this case, it's going to be a collage. Okay? You'll get the hang of it a little bit more as we go. You'll understand what to do. And also, I posted the instructions. They're all written. It's a lot of words, but it'll really help you understand what we're going to be doing today. Okay? So, if you don't have magazines, we're going to work on getting them here at the school so that your moms and dads can come pick them up for you. You can also go to the library and ask if they will give you old magazines that they were just going to throw away anyway, and they'll give them to you for free. So that would help, okay? Or newspapers. You can use junk mail to cut words and pictures out from, okay? So we're going to be thinking about what we're going to be using, and you're going to learn as you go. That's why you have lots of time to complete this, this project, all right? So the first thing you're going to do for this is, after you've gathered your supplies, you're going to sit down with a piece of paper and a pen or a pencil, and you're going to brainstorm. You're going to use your thoughts. You're going to think about all the things that, if you had to give a word, would describe you. For example, for me, I love to paint. I love art. I love cats. They're my favorite animal. I love to cook and bake. I love cookies and ice cream and fruits and vegetables. I love the fall. That's my favorite season. Okay, and let's see what else that I wrote. Oh, music. I love music. I love the colors blue and purple and black. So those are things that I wrote down here on my list. Okay, things that represent me. Those are things that if I couldn't tell you with my words, if you were looking at my collage, you would know, oh, that's Miss Hope. Yeah, that's got to be her. But this time you're also going to be using your name as part of the collage, right in the center. If you want to put it right in the center or somewhere on your collage, you're going to be cutting letters out that all represent the letters of your name. So I have an H, I have an O, I don't have a P yet, and I'm going to show you why and what I'm going to do. And I have the letter E. These are all cut out of different places in magazines. And I'm going to show you how we're going to arrange them, and I'm also going to show you how to make a letter if you don't have one. All right, so I think that's it, and I think we're ready to go onto the table. We're just going to transfer the camera view here, so then you're going to see where I'm going to be working. Okay, you're not going to see my face, but you're going to see the table. Okay, so here we go. All right, so my base for my foundation, for my collage is blue. It's a blue piece of paper. And like I said before, I want to cut out my name first because I want you to know that this belongs to me. But I don't have the letter P. So I have a couple of choices. I could go looking in a magazine for the letter P. That's fine. Or I could take a piece of paper and I could cut the letter P out of a piece of paper, which is what I'm going to do. I'm going to kill two birds with one stone, so to speak. So I told you before that I love music. Music is something that's very important to me. So I have a scrap piece of music paper here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead with my red pen and I'm going to draw a letter P. And I'm going to cut it out. It doesn't have to be perfect. It could be a little imperfect. And that's part of life, and that's okay. making mistakes sometimes, especially in art. And if you know me and you've taken art with me before, you know that I encourage you to leave the mistakes, as long as they're not really, really upsetting. Leave the mistakes on your paper sometimes and figure out what else they can be. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't even realize you didn't see what I was doing. I am cutting the letter P out of music sheet of paper. It's old music that nobody uses anymore, so I'm allowed to cut it out. All right, so now I've got all the letters for my name. Hope spells hope. That's me. I'm not gluing anything down yet, though. Okay, and this is very important. What you're gonna do is you're gonna take all your materials that you find that you want to use, and you're gonna arrange them like putting a puzzle together first before you glue anything down. Do not glue anything down until you know that you have it arranged the way that you like it. Okay? The reason is because once you start gluing and then you realize you're out of space for something that you really wanted to add, you can't really fix that. That's gonna, if you pull it off, you're gonna have a big gloppy gluey mess, or you're gonna rip your papers, and that's gonna upset you. So don't glue anything until you kind of arrange. Okay, now I'll show you some of the fun stuff that I've got here in my little material station. This says change of plans. I found this in a magazine, and I think it's really appropriate for right now, because obviously we were supposed to come back to school and be here in the classroom, but there's been a change of plans. So I'm going to go ahead. I want that to be part of my collage right now. I also found some feathers in the art room here that I've got, blue and purple, because those are my favorite colors. And I'm going to stick them here for right now, along with this little star that I cut out of yellow felt. I don't know what I'm going to do with it yet. Maybe I'm not going to use it at all, but I'm going to put it here for now. And then I'm going to look for some other things that I cut out. Like I have a picture of strawberries. I love strawberries, but I'm going to trim this down a little bit. So after you've cut things out of your magazines, you want to make sure that they fit. So as you're moving things around, you want to trim things down or cut things a little bit more precisely. I have here, let's cook. I'm going to cut this part off that says everyday fun. It's not always fun to cook. Sometimes I'm tired when I get home from work and I don't feel like cooking, but I love to cook. So let's cook right over here. And I showed you before that I love my spirograph. So I'm going to add them somewhere too. Okay, now I'm also using my list. The list takes you a few minutes to write. On my list, I wrote things that represent me. Art, cats, cooking and food, love, the colors blue, black, and purple, music, the shape circles, because those are my favorite, that's my favorite shape, sunflowers or just any flowers, my favorite season is fall, and being grateful. Those are some things that I want to represent me in my collage. Okay, so I'm looking for things that match those words. Those are called symbols. Okay, symbols are pictures that also mean something. And I found the words give thanks. Okay, I have to remember, sometimes it's easy for me to be thankful, and sometimes I really have to, I'm in a grumpy mood, and I really need to remember and think about giving thanks and being thankful for everything that I have, and especially in these times that have been very challenging and very scary, that I'm healthy and I'm safe, and my family is healthy and safe, and we need to be thankful for those things. Okay, here's a picture of a cat that I found. I'm going to put him right there, or her. I found the word cookies. I love cookies. I'm going to add that right over there. Here's a picture of a star from something that I stamped a long time ago on a magazine. I mean on an envelope. I'm going to put that down here. I may not use everything. And then I cut this out because I thought this was funny. I like to be silly. And this kind of looks silly, right? This is someone's face on a hand. So I'm going to trim that a little bit. And maybe I'm going to add that to my collage. Remember, you're not gluing anything down until you know that you are happy with the way it looks. A lot of times when we're making projects in art, we gain confidence by doing things that make us feel successful. Okay? That means take your time. That means slow down. It means think about what you're doing before you do it. I'm going to add the word food. Now, my collage is getting very crowded. I have a lot of things on here right now. One of the words that, when you look through the assignment that I posted, there are 3 vocabulary words down at the bottom. Balance, symbol, and composition. Okay, those are the 3 words, and they're defined for you, so you don't have to go look them up. We're going to talk about balance right now. So let's just say I'm going to take all this off for a minute. Let's say I rearrange this a little bit, right? Is my collage good? It's okay, but there's not really balance because everything is up here. Nothing is down here. Once I start adding things here, now I'm starting to get more balance. Balance is like even on both sides, right? So you want to look for balance in your work. If I were painting and all of my colors were here, but nothing was down here, that might be okay depending on the style that I'm trying to work in, but it's not really balanced. My eye only goes up to the place where there's color or words. It doesn't look around on the entire canvas or piece of paper, okay? I have a lot of things here that I'm not going to end up using. Look, I'm going to show you. These are all different things that I've still got, but I have too many things on my collage right now. So I'm gonna work on rearranging this a little bit and deciding how I want to arrange this before I glue it down. So one more time, I'm going back to Hope in the middle, and then I'm going to arrange my feathers a little differently now, I think. If you've got some music that you like listening to while you're creative, that's good. That's a good thing. Hope cookies. All right, so now I'm getting to arrange my materials where I want them to go. I'm gonna add this heart right here. I like the color black and I like the shape heart, so I'm gonna leave that right there. My feather keeps blowing away because my fan is on. So I'm gonna write change of plans, but give thanks. It's kind of like funny to put them next to each other because sometimes you're not really thankful for the change of plans, but in this case, I'm going to remind myself that I have to be thankful for the change of plans anyway. And I'm going to go ahead, you know what I'm going to do? It's like kill two birds with one stone. Like I said it before, it's accomplish two things in one move. I'm going to put my cat inside the heart because I love cats. And that's another vocabulary word, to symbol. A symbol is, like I said before, a picture that represents an idea or a word or a thought. So if you were looking at my heart, you know that a heart represents love. And then if you see the cat inside, you would be able to know that that must mean she loves cats. I found the word painting. I'm going to add that. I love painting also. But I'm not going to put that in my heart. I'm going to put it down here. And then I'm going to put let's cook. Well, I don't want it to put let's cook because I don't want it to be like let's cook cats. That would not be good. Okay, here's my silly hand. Hi, waving at everybody. And I'm going to use my star down here. All right, I'm liking the way this is looking. Do you guys think this looks okay? Does it look like it's balanced to you? So if it looks like it's balanced to you, then you can go ahead and start gluing. Just be careful that when you're gluing lots of things onto one thing, you want to go kind of in a system. You want to kind of pay attention to where you're gluing so you don't forget to glue things and then pick it up and everything falls off. So I like to use dot, 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 dot when I'm gluing. For me, it keeps things not messy. There's a time to be messy and there's a time to be careful. When we do Messy Art Club, that's time to be messy. Alright, so now I'm going to glue everything on carefully, okay? You don't want to use globs of glue because why? Why do you think? If you use globs of glue, the glue kind of starts, press down on it, it comes out squishing out everywhere, and it makes it look really messy and sloppy. Even though it dries clear, you can still see it. Hope is my name, but it also is a word. What does hope mean? You know what? I hope. When we say I hope for something, we're saying I wish for. And I wish that we can come back to school soon and do art in the art room. All right, halfway done here. You want to go back as you're working here and just make sure. See how my glue came out a little bit? A little bit is okay. It'll dry clear. But if lots of glue starts coming out, it might look a little sloppy. You want to go back and just kind of press things down if they start to curl up. Sometimes that happens with paper. Now, if you don't have magazines and you're drawing on paper, you can even write the words in a colorful, in colors with markers or pencils. If your word is, if you love, if you love painting, and you write that word painting on paper with your colorful markers or pencils or crayons, you cut that out. Cut that word out and you glue it on. Because this is not a drawing project, this is a collage. It's very different than drawing. What I can show you when I'm done with gluing is if you want to add drawing to your collage after you've done all the materials, I'll show you what we can do. Okay, I'm actually going to use something that's already there. This says let's cook, so I'm going to stick that on, and my star. Boop, right there. And my strawberries. Alright, now. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is I left off my feathers, as you can see. It wasn't working for me. I have this cool white gel pen. And so what I want to do is, if I want to fill in some of these spaces here, and let's say I don't want to add another word, but I want to do something with drawing, you can add to something that you've already collaged, and you can draw, or you can just do some, like, maybe I want to do, I'm going to make this into a flower. I'm going to go ahead like that. So I'm not really, this isn't a drawing project, but I'm just adding some drawing just to enhance my collage material, what I've already done with my white marker. But you don't have to. You don't have to draw on this at all. Okay, I'm just adding to it because I said I like flowers before, and so I'm using the spirograph picture to also turn it into a flower. Okay, so there you go. This very simple. It's just a little time consuming because you have to spend the time looking through different places and finding things. That's why this list is really helpful, and it also forces you to use your writing skills and your thinking skills about what makes you you. What colors do you love? What's your culture? You can include anything that's cultural. If you have pictures from a country that you're from, or something that represents a place where your family comes from, add that to the collage. That would be really great. Photographs, if you're allowed to cut them. Places where you've been on vacation. Favorite hobbies, things that you love to do. What makes you you? Do you like riding bicycles? Do you like drawing? Do you like building with Legos? See if you could find pictures of Legos somewhere that you could cut out and add to your collage, okay? And that's it, guys. It's really simple. It's really fun to do. It's just a little time consuming, and you need to spend some time really thinking about it. But you can get some help. Just don't let anybody do your work for you. You guys have to do the work. Okay, and here I'm going to zoom back over to me. Once you're done with your assignment, you need to have somebody help you take a picture of it and upload it back to whatever site you're using, whether it's Schoology or Google Classroom, whatever platform you're using. You need to take a picture and send it back to me so that I can see that you did it and get you a participation grade, okay? So I cannot wait to see your collages. If we were in the classroom, I'd be hanging them all up everywhere. But send them to me. Send your pictures to me when you're done. You have more than a week to complete this, and you should be able to do it with no problem. But don't hesitate to contact me if you have any questions, okay? I will see you guys soon. Have a great week. Have a great first week of school. See you later.